For these tests to be valid, there needs to be statistically sound evidence that they present findings that are directly related to students' quality of work, meaning the use of the result of the test will allow students to become better learners by using the strengths given to teachers from the tests in the classroom. For this to happen, these tests need to be statistically analyzed to show that the findings are both true and valid. It also needs to compare to the instrument or model. The instrument or the model needs to compare well to what it's trying to test. Measuring the validity of test is not easy though, and lots of researchers have already done it. So it's important when selecting a test to use for students that their evidence is based on specific results, showing that the test is valid of some sort. The test must be reliable as well, meaning that they present the same amount of data over time. But how valid are the tests that we spoke about? So the problem is that they're rarely 100% sound, meaning that they don't always produce the same results over time. This is extremely important to keep in mind. It doesn't mean that the test can't be used. It just means that as students grow older, as students find new ways of understanding things, their results are going to change. So when you are giving these tests at the beginning of the year, you might want to think about the progression of students as the year goes on, and possibly administering these tests maybe again at the halfway point to kind of confirm that the way that you're teaching things is helping your students. Students grow and they learn as they learn more. And I think this is really exemplified in, the Kolb model and the cycling and the experiences. As students learn new experiences, more things become true to them. So, students might start out the year thinking that they're very kinesthetic learners because, they just came off the basketball court or they just came out of camp and they were very hands-on and they're, into that mindset. And then by the time Christmas vacation is over, they're thinking more analytically and they're more into the reading and the writing portion. They're better at, visually learning, things like that. So it's important to think about those things as time goes on. That's really the main point that I took from this, was that while these tests are really interesting to see where your students go, it can't hurt to implement lots of different learning styles and learning abilities and learning, learning scales, whatever kind of thing that you decide to use in your teaching, to include multiples of them in creative ways, to allow for students to kind of have a little bit of choice and freedom in how they learn. One way that I know that this is possible is through having students choose what kind of homework assignments that they do. So you might, give a reading, a video, and a podcast. And they all cover the same general topic, but they're presented in different ways that allows for students to have choice and they can understand the material better. I hope that this helps. I hope that this presentation, works for you in your classroom, and that you decide, not just to use these results and these tests, but also to think about, the validity and reliability of tests in general. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.